Welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning into your boy, Pfunk, Thinking Right, at my YouTube channel where I do what I do for you. Today, right, isn't 25 rules to live by, storytelling, story with a message of the story. We still in my wheelhouse. We're going to talk about Nehast, what it is, and how do you get it? You hear me talking about the great awakening. You hear me talking about reaching that level, knowing thyself. All of that is predicated on what we call the Nehast, the spiritual awakening. Nehast, aka the great awakening, when you become aware of yourself being God. It don't change. I won't change. If you think God is anywhere other than here, turn the channel. Just go. Don't even worry about it. I do need subscription. All right. I don't do the. But yeah, it's important that you subscribe because if I get enough subscription, it might take care of your boy. You feel me? So, as a friend, as a viewer, as a right thinker, okay, all right thinkers. One of the criteria to being a right thinker is you have to subscribe to Pfunk Thinking Right YouTube channel. Okay, that's starting to become my new moniker. I need you to subscribe. Subscribe for me. I need knowledge to you. Let's go. That's a deal. Fair deal, hopefully. Yeah. I need the subscription to grow. Let's go. Next one is the higher level of spiritual enlightenment. Your God state is the great awakening. When you have learned, when you put in the time and you had that conversation, when God comes and tell you, good job, you're good to go. If that day didn't happen for you, you need to put some work in. Because that's how it happens, trust me. Knowing that God, the supreme being, who is called by many names, is you, that's a beautiful thing. The goal of right thoughts, philosophy, disciplines will help you discover the meaning of I am. When Moses was told by God to go tell the Pharaoh to free his people, Moses said, well, on whose authority? Who am I saying? The great I am. Okay. My point and my goal is to, you are the great I am. Let me help you find that out. Right? Thinking's philosophy will unveil the true mysteries of which is the task of us to make, to unveil, to go through the veil of illusion and come into the knowledge of understanding in the light of knowledge of self. Ignorance is darkness. Ignorance is not bliss. Okay. How do I reach the Nehast state? I've been telling you the whole time. Practice, work, do the things that you know is right. Here we go. Right thoughts philosophy teach the Neteru concept, emulating the gods. Neterus are gods, aspects of God. Remember, nature, Neteru, that's what they consider. All right. Right philosophies will help you become like them in all aspects. Akos, that means an illuminated one. That means you have waken up the spirit inside you and understanding who you are. Now you are illuminated one. They call it enlightened being. That's why I say enlightenment means knowledge of self. Spiritual enlightenment means you got God knowledge of self. Okay? That's the point. Right thoughts philosophy, once mastered, you are now an enlightened being. Work on becoming your best you to become an enlightened being. And everything else that you do after being an enlightened being will be all good. Any area, every area, trust me. The Ujat, the eye of Horus. You see me wearing, I first started, I carried the eye as my calling card. That was the Ujat, the eye of Horus. The eye is the symbol of being awoke to divine consciousness. My godliness has been awakened. I know. Why? I got the eye open, the third eye. These two are always open. I wake up, they always. But the third eye that you don't see, when you open that up through righteous living, consciously doing, living and being right, it will happen for you. That's the only way it opens up. Okay? It's the reason it's like that. Purpose is the Kundalini rising, that's knowledge of self. That's practicing right living until you ding, 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 ding. Yeah, you reach the top, you'll know. Here we go. The I means you're spiritually awakened. You know yourself, God. The eye lets others know I am awake. I can see clearly. 2020. Are you looking clearly? I gave a lesson on 2020 vision. That's the eye inside seeing you for who you really are. God. Can you see clearly? See, if you don't see yourself as God, you ain't seeing clearly. Your 2020 ain't up. You need to get it up. Here we go. The next one is the eye shows you have knowledge of self. So speak for itself. The eye also is used to teach about human senses, which is the sixth. I told you. The thought process that they had in Brown, they don't count that, but that's the thought. That's why I lied. That's my area of expertise. The brain was overlooked at death from the ancients. And my concept is if the brain is the thought process, we know the heart got a brain, but the heart stores everything that's good. The brain stores conscious. The brain stores thoughts. So if they was throwing out the brain that's like throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Yeah, gotta be careful with that one. So I see I differ. I have my own opinions about a lot of stuff. I got my viewpoints, but I keep them to myself. Next, we're gonna talk about Nehast is that mystical experience of spiritual consciousness. Mystical meaning it's like a magical thing for you, every individual. My experience of God, mystical minds. I can only try to explain it to you. I can try to express it and expound on it. But until you experience it, that's what God is. God is expression, experience. That every individual who has that, they know God. For an ignorant person who don't read the signs, who may have been saved by the grace of God time and time again, they don't read and see the signs, so they keep doing the same reckless action over and over again. Insanity. Yeah. Next one is we got, okay. Spiritual consciousness is understood to see union with your true self. When you become spiritual conscious, that means you put forth the effort and the work to comprehend God and to live and understand it. Now it's a two-pronged thing. The mind and the body both on the same accord. The heart and the mind had that mental connection, that communion. You got God. That's what it's all about. They knew this thousands of years ago. We still fighting back and forth, really. But the people who got a little bit of idea, they give it to you for a price. I go to church every week. I contribute to the scholarship fund. I contribute to the building fund. I contribute to whatever we're doing. I'm contributing. That's what you do. Okay, 10%. It's my choice. God knows that's between him and I. There we go. But I always contribute to the house. In order to know something, you have to become it. Again, becoming Haru, becoming like the Neteru. Learn that God. Understand that God. We know about Jesus. We go through his life, but what about the other people? There's more people than Jesus that we can emulate because there's good people throughout the Bible. 66 books in there, and all of them had a story, and all the stories got a message. So no different than what I'm doing, what the Bible does. Okay? Understand that. Next one is the spiritual practice, right thoughts, philosophy. The goal is knowing and mastering your individual self, becoming God within your own self, mastering the aspects of the Neteru, learning the stories and living the godly aspects, changing your character. All these are ways to become a better you. That's what you have to do. Ain't no getting around that. You can't get to God without being good, without doing good things. Okay? If you think you can lie, steal, connive, and be godly, you're wrong. You're wrong. You are so wrong. I can tell you that. All right, here we go. Next one is knowing God, Neteru, is the goal of right thoughts philosophy for right living. I learned Mayat years ago. I just figured out how to live it. See? You can learn something, but unless you institute it and implement it, you just know of it. It's just, an idea, a concept. I love concepts because some concepts you can use and they will manifest into the truth. That's where it comes from. Okay. The last section here is going to be, practicing right thoughts philosophy daily. This is the way for spiritual enlightenment. You can't do it today and live right today and don't live right tomorrow. Live right. No, it don't work like that. Haphazard, no. Consistency. I've been at this now for 2 years. I haven't made a master yet, to my knowledge, but I'm trying. I'm stroking. I'm giving it. I'm just, the only way the master can be made is they do their work and they master the craft. That way, they don't have that problem. They don't have to worry about me. They can do what they know to do for themselves. That's what I'm trying to show you. Don't rely on me to do what you need to do for yourself. I'm just trying to point you in the right direction. You got to do the walking. Okay, get off my back. I haven't carried you but so far. I got to drop you. Okay, now you got to put in some work. Do you. Okay, that's all. Day to day, it works. That's all I can tell you. I've been telling you that now 2 years. Here we go. The last one, understanding who God is and how you relate to God. How you can live God's will and get the benefits of it. I'm going to tell you just how, because that's what I'm trying to explain to you. That's how it's done. Knowledge of self is having knowledge of God. Nehast. Yeah. When you do that, that's what it is. Right Thoughts philosophy teaches you how to understand the essence, you, which is God. Again, Nehast. You obtain Nehast through knowledge, through living, through acquiring things and aspects that you put forth in your character to help you become a good person will supersede most adverse situation that you come across. I use it, call it Pfunk, keeping it real, just doing what I gotta do and being responsible for my actions. I always did that. So it ain't hard for me to adopt this concept or this method once I figured it out. I've been doing this for years. It ain't hard. Be you, do you, understand you, and you'll be fine. Wanting to be something that you're not, waste of time. Wanting to be somebody you're not, why? Be you. Find out who you are. Again, knowing ourselves takes away all these nonsensical stuff that if you know yourself, that you'll be going through chasing hoops. Oh, I'm still trying to find myself. All that nonsense. Get a grip. Do what you gotta do. Handle your business. Tune in to me. I got you. Subscribe. Now, here we go. Right Thoughts philosophy teaches you. Okay, that was third one. Practicing Right Thoughts philosophy goal is to have you become God while still living here on earth. Other people promise God when you die. Nah, I ain't buying into that one. That's another reason why I differ, because I'm not buying into that after death nonsense. How about before death? What I need to do before death. That's what my heart's telling me I need to do. After death, I'm being judged on what I did when I was alive. So I digress. Excuse me. Here we go. Next one is Right Thoughts philosophy is God's way of life. Do, be, act is what we call doing His will. If you are a godly person, you're going to do the right thing, you're going to act in the right manner, and you're going to be what you should be. All those are godly qualities. All those are character building things that you can implement in your own life if you choose to. That's where free will and choice comes in. Some of us just choose not to do what we know for whatever reason. That's, again, and I ain't in nobody else's head. I'm just in my head. I can't speak with nobody but myself. I know when I did it, these are the reasons why I did it. I didn't know. I was ignorant. I ain't nothing about God. Once He showed me, and any person that's down on, once God gave you affirmation, oh, you become a soldier. That's how it's done. When you do something for Him, and you know you did it for Him, you know the reward that you got for doing it for Him, you got choice. I did it the old-fashioned way. Let me try that again. If I do this, you can give me that. If I do this, I can get that. Oh, that's a deal. I made a deal, not with the devil. I made a deal with God. See, why we can make a deal with the devil, but nobody make God. I made a godly deal. I made a deal with God. My man, you don't have to worry about me. What you did for me so far, I'm good. If nothing else good happened, I'm good with that. Why? Because you showed me who you are, so I ain't gonna problem with that no more. I no longer know. I'm in. I'm a follower. I'm a God-fearing man for a reason. He showed me why. Last one is having self-knowledge is the best knowledge of all. Nehast. I know God. Why? I experienced Him for myself. I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm not telling you to hope you. No, I'm just telling you what I know. This is not a debate. This is a statement. I know God. Why? What He did for me, man can't do. That's how God works. So if you don't recognize what He do for you, and most people say, well, I'm back to doing this. God look out for fools and babies. Yeah, unless you're a baby, you're a fool. If you ain't recognizing God. So He gonna still look out for you. Why? He loves you. All you gotta do is understand that and get closer to Him. Had that in the house. I did.